My name is Brooke Freund, and I just completed my Girl Scout Gold Award titled A Change of Scenery. So I'm going to explain to you what exactly my project was and what it did so that hopefully other schools will be able to do the same thing and modify it to make it work for them. So to start my project, I looked at the fact that so much emphasis is put on sports, especially in the college search right now. You really realize how much colleges and schools and even parents are looking at the way kids perform athletically. And I wanted to make sure that kids who maybe aren't athletic or don't enjoy sports as much are able to express themselves in other ways, such as the theater. I know that there are always tons and tons of people who go out for sports every fall, but only a fraction of the amount come out for the school drama, and I want to make that more, regardless of whether they be on stage or behind stage. So that being said, I have made a few videos to help whoever the sound person is in figuring out like exactly how to do things, and I hope that those are as instructional as they would be like me being there with them. So to begin my project, I started by inventorying the entire auditorium. So I took all of the tech equipment that we could possibly like send out to any school, and I recorded all of it and reorganized it and wound up building a closet downstairs to make that easier. So whenever we find out school needs something, we can just go to the closet and say, okay, like I need a 25-foot XLR, I need 2 mics to send with them. So after the inventory process is when I began working with the schools. So I made a list, an inventory sheet on Google Sheets of all the stuff we have in our auditorium. And I put that on a fill out form. So what you do is you just go through the form and say, okay, like I'm taking this from Newton, I'm taking this from Newton, I'm taking this from Newton. And the purpose of us being able to do that is we're then able, as a high school, to send out more and more to different schools because now we have a way of actually keeping track of it. So as we got the list done, we wound up working with Green and Halstead middle schools, which are schools that feed into the high school eventually. And we worked with them to see what they could possibly use that we had, because arts are given such a little budget from schools. We know that a lot of shows would not be able to be performed if there weren't some budget. Speaking of which, Long Pond Middle School, who I was supposed to work with on my project this year, wound up not having a show because they didn't have the budget to buy the rights for the play. So not only do you have to buy the rights to the show, you have to then rent the audio equipment, which most middle schools can't afford. We were lucky enough to just get new audio equipment, so it's kind of a win-win for everyone because then we can rent out both the old stuff and some of the new stuff. So our first school that I went to and helped with was Green Hills, and I brought a few kids with me to help set up and everything. And what we did is we took in all the stuff that they didn't have to then make kids be able to have new positions. So not only were they like working on curtains, but I had a girl back with me doing music that was playing through the speakers. So I got to teach her how to use the soundboard. So there's another person who now has a new skill set that wouldn't have had that before had we not brought our stuff with us. So we brought mics with us. We brought headset mics, as well as our receivers and transmitters, amongst other smaller things, but the big deal was really the mics. So that enabled 12 people to be mic'd. And in that school, on their stage, you can't hear a thing. So we were really able to help enhance their performance because we were there and we were teaching these kids like how to do all these different things. So I know the girl I worked with, her name was Nicole, and I worked with her the most amongst the other stage crew members mostly. And like now she's able to adjust volume, and like I taught her how to patch into the board. So there's a whole new skill set that she learned. We also were able to bring our things to Halstead Middle School, where we sent them a soundboard, we sent them headset mics also. So then they had that opportunity, because renting equipment is so incredibly expensive that had we not brought it, many schools couldn't afford to do it on their own. So we brought all that stuff over. And I was able to help work with students again, like to work on how to do a sound check, which is something super simple, but people don't know what it is. And the whole goal that I had was to give kids a new interest. So I know that Nicole, who I worked with at Green, is coming up next year, and she wants to do stage crew. So hopefully she'll bring her friends with her. The inventory list that I created is meant to be sustained. So I know that after I leave, which isn't going to be for until after next year, after I leave, Mr. Scullin and the rest of the drama department have agreed to work on the upkeep of that list. So every time we get something new or every time we get rid of something, it will be updated on that form, because it's a Google form and can be accessed from anyone who has access to it. So when I leave, Mr. Scullin will receive that, and kids will still continue to go to Halstead and Green and Andover, because we've set up communication with them. And now that we have open communication, we're able to do even more. Like, I talked to because Andover didn't have a show, I was then able to reach out to the director and have arranged to work with them next year. So even though my Gold Award will be finished by then, it's still gonna keep going. And what happens is the alumni from the high school, so like I'm Green alumni, so I go back to Green and I help. And that's kind of how it's always works. Like, kids want to go see like what's going on at their middle school after they leave. And it's not only like a great opportunity to get to work with other students, but to learn for yourself, because you get to learn how to teach people. And I know that I'm super passionate about sound, and I was able to get to work with a girl on like how to do the thing that I love. So it was a really great teaching moment for me, and it showed me like what she would understand and what she wouldn't understand. And from there, like, I was able to adjust the way that I was teaching and become a better teacher and leader through that. And then to see the way that the program worked, like, okay, is the form working? Which it did, but I was also able to make small modifications, like, oh, so I'm gonna list everything and then have a slot to see how many they want, instead of me saying, okay, what do you want? And then sending the form back and us trying to find whatever they described. I think in the end, my Gold Award was very successful in getting done what I wanted, like in achieving my goal, which was to spread the ideas of creativity and getting involved in your theater or getting involved in your art, and really just being able to express yourself, and also giving kids a new opportunity that they wouldn't have otherwise had. That being said, thank you for watching, and I really hope that other schools are able to do this too, and to send out to their middle school, because we all came from our middle schools. So like, let's outreach, let's help them. They set us up. I know that Green set me up 9 years I was there. They set me up to be in high school and will set me up for college. And I want to be able to return that in any way that I possibly can. And I want to be able to show the kids that maybe aren't athletes that what they're doing is important too, because the show cannot go on without the crew members. Not only is it the actors that do an amazing job, but it's backstage and the people that you don't see. Thank you for watching.